What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Common Sense Living, the show where we dive into financial and economic trends, gold and silver, and other business topics. So, in today's episode, I want to discuss the high silver and gold prices we're seeing, and why, in my opinion, this trend it's going to continue all year. Now, right away, I want to get into what's driving this. And it's very simple, it's fear. More investors are beginning to realize just how sensitive our financial system is out there and how we're really moving farther and farther away from solving the problems that we need to solve. Now, as of early Tuesday morning, things are looking horrible in the banking sector. PacWest, their shares have been tanking. They tanked yesterday. It's expected that they're going to go down even more today. It's possible by end of day, or possibly end of week or early next week, the bank could just fold. The FDIC may have to come in. Someone else like J.P. Morgan may have to come in and buy them. Um, and we're seeing other things happen too, where a lot of banks that are planning on merging, their talks are essentially having to stall, and they're not able to go through with what they want because they're not sure what sort of regulatory changes, are going to be put into place. Now, it's clear that more investors are waking up to what's going on and just how bad things are, and that they're not contained right now. And it's showing in the gold and silver prices as people are flocking to them. And to make matters worse, yesterday we saw the Fed, they hiked the the interest rates by a quarter percentage point. And essentially, normally something like that would have indicated that, um, that the market would really like something like that, because a lot of their talk in their speech yesterday was around, um, pausing the summer, just waiting to see how things are. There wasn't any clear indication that rates were going to go up again. And I believe the Fed is actually really getting frustrated right now with the federal government because they're trying to contain this inflation. They've been raising interest rates, and all the federal government is talking about doing is spending money. And essentially, that's killing the effects that the Fed is putting into place. Now, they're still obviously culpable for keeping rates low for way too long, having way too much money out there. But I do think that you're starting to see a lot of people within the Fed, a lot of hints that there's only so much they can do, especially when the federal government is coming out and they refuse to cut their spending in any way. And I've talked about on this channel before that I think that the Fed is going to have to pivot later this year because things are going to get bad. They're going to get really bad. And it's sad to say that, again, the debt situation is kind of playing out. The debt ceiling is playing out how it's playing out. The White House is essentially saying it's refusing to negotiate, refusing to compromise, and I really hope that the Republicans, they refuse to budge on the issue. Um, Now, obviously, all the political posturing with this, what's going to happen is that the White House, they're going to come out and they're going to keep saying that everything's going to, the world's going to end if that ceiling is not raised, if we're not able to pay our bills. But essentially, there's no one talking about the fact that they're kicking the can down the road, and that a lot of these bills, they're going to have to be paid back at some point. Now, switching gears just a bit, um, as far as other things that are really happening within the economy and things that are destroying uh, our system, is San Francisco and their downtown. And you could essentially say pretty much any big cities downtown area at this point. Now, it's been getting a lot of attention lately, as a lot of these cities are starting to look, um, very deserted. And of course, this has to do with crime, it has to do with the bad policies that are put in place by the local politicians, state politicians as well. And these communities, they're essentially uh, eating it. They're essentially killing their city by themselves. Now, why this is important if you live outside one of these big cities is essentially the commercial real estate. It's really starting to die out, really starting to drop. For example, in San Francisco, one building recently dropped its price by more than 80%. That's pretty much unheard of in commercial real estate to have so much of a drastic decrease in the price of a building, and it happened within just a few years. Now, these commercial real estate losses, they're going to be absorbed by the bank. They're going to feel them. The regional and small banks, they play a huge part in commercial real estate. And higher up, no one seems to care about what's happening as far as in these cities and how everything's going to spill over to these small and regional banks. They're going to see experience deposit flight. People are going to go to bigger banks. There's going to be more consolidation. So we see there's a variety of issues going on here, and because of all these issues, I fully expect gold and silver to have a great year, to continue to have a good year. And really, the only solution that I see the government can do at this point, they're either going to have to, one, print more money just to get the wheels kind of turning, the oil going in the economy. Um, Now, one thing that they might come out and say, as well as sort of a temporary band-aid, is they may try and put more and more regulations on the banking industry and place blame on corporate greed. But really, at the end of the day, there's no good solution because the policies are terrible by the federal government and the policies have been bad by the Fed. So that's all I've got for today. Let me know any thoughts or anything that I may have left out. I appreciate everyone watching. Please, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Thanks.